Okay, so apparently talking about fires creates a firestorm in your own world online. And because of the stance or a couple stances I've taken on the California fires, I've got the enraged left angry at me in the comment sections of various social media. So I want to clear the air before anybody thinks, oh my God, he's such a horrible, evil bastard. Um, I wanted to actually talk to these people and actually encourage the people, the Californians out there, because I think a lot of them just aren't. They're missing a lot of things in all of this, and a lot of the stuff that they're missing is just some of the stuff having to do with their own identity that I just want to kind of prop them up. And I even made notes on this in my little meatloaf notebook. It's just a standard notebook, but it has Meatloaf's name on it, so it's kind of cool. So anyway, I know a lot of the people are feeling really horrible out in the LA area right now, and I think what you need to do is you need to start taking a look at things from a different perspective and maybe do a few things. The first thing I would do is get out of there. Maybe not just temporarily. I know a lot of people are displaced forever. They're out of there forever, and I get that. And if you're these people, and I'm talking to the lefties, I'm talking to the people. I'm talking to a certain demographic here. I'm not talking about every single individual. But look, if you are one of these liberals, if you're one of these people that is blindsided by this, you need to refocus. You need to do some things. I'm going to tell you to do this. Take a ride. Go north. Go north, Northern California, go even Oregon, whatever. You need to go north. Go find yourself a stream. Look into these streams, and you're probably going to find this fish, it's a smelt. You've probably heard about this. Now, these are the smelts that a lot of these things that you did, diverting, for instance, diverting all of the water supply that could have been in reservoirs or whatever. Newsom diverted that into the Pacific for the reasons of the environment, for the fish, and for all of these feel-good reasons. And you need to see those feel-good reasons. You need to go up and see the actual thing that you saved. Forget about your house. Forget about your neighbor's house. Forget about your school. Forget about LA. Just forget about it. It's days ago anyway. Okay, it's in the past. Go look at the fish that you saved. Remember why you did it. Remember why you wanted this. That's the biggest thing that I'm going to try to get across in this video, is you've got to remember what it was that you stood for, what it was that you wanted, what were you trying to achieve. Go look at that fish. There it is. It's alive. It's right there. You saved it. You need to feel good about that, not feel about yourself, not worry about your house and your stuff and your pictures and all that. That's possessions. You don't want to be looked at as a shallow person. Go look at the real prize, the environment. There's the fish. He has his home. That's what you need to focus on. And you got to get back to a lot of these things, a lot of these core values that you stood for. People are watching these fires. They got the fire on the TV and oh my God, look at this and that and the Hollywood Hills and da 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 da. You're missing, right in the shot is a bunch of firemen. They're putting out the fires with water in purses. They're taking women's purses and they're scooping up water, what they can find for water, and they're throwing it on the fire. And there's a big blaze in the background. And what are people seeing? The fire. It's not the fire. What's important isn't the burnt homes, not the fire, not the piers, not the schools, the libraries, the museums, none of that. That's not what's important. What's important are the people in the shot. Look at those firemen. What do you see? A lot less white guys. Right. You don't see the white guys. You're seeing more black people, more females. You're seeing all kinds of diversity, all kinds of inclusion. That's what matters. Your fire chief, the guys are putting the fire out with water in purses because you don't have fire hydrants. Your fire chief dropped the ball there. But guess what? She's lesbian, and that's what matters. What matters isn't a bunch of stupid water. It's not a fire hydrant, okay? What matters is that all kinds of people were brought into the fire department that otherwise wouldn't have been there, and all kinds of people who you don't like aren't there anymore. You don't have to have some white guy running around your yard trying to put out your fire when really that's the job of an empowered female or a transvestite or somebody. That's what matters. And you people that are looking at these videos and you're like, oh, the fire, the homes. Step back. Step back and look at what was important and remember it. You're going to feel much better about that. That you're winning and you don't even realize it. You turn on the thing and you see all the black smoke and everything going into the air and you're like, oh God, no. The smoke and what's going to happen with climate change and the environment or whatever, and you're forgetting that smoke caused by good intentions, it can't be put out, but there's diversity going on. Diversity is it's like this, okay? It's like a carbon credit, okay? How much smoke you have here is offset, like carbon credits offset. You buy your way out of climate change. You can diversity your way out of the effects of the environmental effects of smoke in fires, because diversity offsets the smoke. Your smoke in California is not the same smoke that you would get if a corporation burned a bunch of land or a rainforest or an oil rig caught fire. Big oil will destroy, an oil rig fire destroys the environment. A fire that can't be put out because good, inclusive people are doing the best they can isn't the same. That does not affect the climate. So I know there's people out there that just step back away from that. That's something you've got to put totally out of your head. You've just got to understand it's about the people involved. It's about the mayor. Yeah, the mayor cut the fire department budget and whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is that she's a black woman, and that's what matters. That's it. I don't even think there's no other criteria. There's no other criteria that even matter. Nothing else that she even did matters. What matters is your governor is on the same page as you. He thinks the way you think. He supports the things you think. He's all woke and stuff, and that's what matters. What matters isn't a bunch of stupid reservoirs and water and management and all that. That's all crap. Cleaning the underbrush, that was stupid. You know that was stupid. Yeah, I mean, you've seen for yourself that it burns really hot and really fast. There's no doubt. It's like cray paper. It's like balsa wood. We understand that it burns. I mean, all you people, the environmental people out there that make your little shavings and you start your fires, your campfires, and you go on those hikes and stuff, understand really paper thin wood just goes all to pieces. But what matters is that by not cutting that, there were squirrels and birdies and bunny rabbits and stuff that you saved all of them. Well, I mean, okay, you saved the ones that weren't killed in the fire. You know what I mean? They had a place to live. I mean, they don't have a place to live right now. Well, you know what I'm saying. They had a good run. They had it good for a while. They had little bunny houses and stuff for a while. I mean, now some of them are dead. And they don't have I don't know where the hell they're going to live. But I mean, up until last week, everybody felt great. They felt really good. Another problem, I understand. I know, look, when the hurricanes came for Helene, and a lot of people were like, good on you, because I was going to keep the Trump voters home, and I know a lot of people cared about that. And we don't have an election going on right now, but you got to remember we do have a FEMA situation that's going to happen. And I know people are worried about this because I know FEMA in North Carolina could tell who the Trump people were by the signs and the political stuff because it was an election. And now where everything is basically just post-apocalyptic, you can't tell who's a Trump guy, who voted for Newsom and Biden and Harris and whatever. You can't tell who's who. Maybe a little scrap of a Trump flag or something in somebody's yard, but FEMA is something going to fall through the cracks. FEMA is going to accidentally give relief to some of these Trump people, and I know that's a concern. That's one I'm going to tell you, just kind of put that away. That's just something that's going to happen, and I feel bad about it. But I mean, yeah, I mean, some Trumpers are going to get theirs in this, even though, you know, it's a small percentage in California. But you can be happy that at least some of the people in the city weren't like you. They weren't diverse and woke. They were awful people, like the awful people in Florida when they get hurricanes and they get made fun of, or the awful people in North Carolina that were in MAGA country that they deserve to get theirs because they didn't care about climate, you know, climate and hurricanes and whatever. But you care, and because you cared and voted for blue state government, you don't have any of those issues out there in California, which is good. I'm glad that your house is all in order. And I know there's a lot of people, they get mad at times like this. They get mad at people like me, and they'll get mad at, like, this video. They'll get mad at this video, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, way to politicize this, way to in our face in our time of need, you uncompassionate piece of crap." And to my response, I guess, to that is, during the Nick school shooting, when AOC and Chuck Schumer and a lot of these people dive right on gun control before the gunpowder is dissipated in the classroom, and they politicize these things, or the next hurricane that hits and they call out DeSantis because of whatever, because he didn't prevent it, because he wasn't woke enough to stop hurricanes or whatever. I guess fuck you. I guess, yeah, that's my stance on this. Is this obviously was all sarcastic parody, but at the end of the day, the first thing all you guys ever want to do during anything is you make it all about the situation, what could have been done, who the bad people were that didn't do what should have been done, and all that. And now it's come back on you, and you're upset because all these people like Charlie Kirk or whoever are pointing out all the flaws in your system, your ideology, your methods, your practices, and everything that led you into a situation that is way worse than it ever would have been if you didn't mock people like Donald Trump, who was on Rogan warning you about the need for water and cleaning the carpet of the, which is not a carpet, it's the actual growth and the dead stuff that's on the you know, the floor of the forest, to make that stuff not burn as crazy as it does. If you weren't mocking those people and taking and doing a 180 and doing the exact opposite of whatever they do because you hate them, you probably wouldn't be in all of the mess. You'd have a fire, and I would feel for people when a fire breaks out. I would feel much worse about California right now if it were an earthquake, because that's an unpreventable, catastrophic thing that you just don't fault people. People want to live in California, they want to live in Florida. They get a hurricane, you get an earthquake. People in the Northeast get blizzards and they get ice storms and whatever. We get ocean storms. That's what happens. I don't fault people for wanting to live in Oklahoma because there may be a tornado someday. There is no safe place on earth. But when you can do something about it and you've refused because of your own ideology, because that was more important to you than the repercussions, then just sit back and enjoy the fact that your diversity is there, your little fish is there, you did all your feels right. So stop feeling bad. You got to feel good, right? Isn't that what it's about? Because at the end of the day, it's all about what made you feel good.